Force is a fundamental concept in physics and mechanics, serving as a key factor in explaining how objects change their state from rest to motion or vice versa. Physically, force is an external influence acting on an object that can change its speed, direction, or state. Definition of force: force is any action or influence that can change the state of an object, whether its motion, shape, or direction. Its unit in the International System of Units SI is the Newton-Un. Force is a vector quantity, which means it is both a magnitude value and a direction. Newton's laws of motion. Newton's 3 laws of motion are fundamental to understanding and explaining the effects of forces. 1. Newton's first law of inertia. This law states that an object will remain at rest or in uniform motion in a straight line unless acted upon by an external force. In other words, if no force acts on an object, it will continue in its original state. 2. Newton's second law of acceleration. This law states that the acceleration of an object is directly proportional to the force applied and inversely proportional to its mass. It is given by the formula F equals mc dota, where F is the force, m is the mass of the object, I is the acceleration of the object. 3. Newton's third law: action and reaction. This law states that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. This means that if a force is exerted on an object, the object exerts an equal force in the opposite direction on the entity applying the force. Types of forces. There are several types of forces that we encounter in everyday life and in nature. 1. Gravitational force: gravity. This is the force that attracts objects toward each other. For example, Earth's gravity pulls objects toward the ground. The gravitational force between two objects is given by the formula F equals G A frac M underscore 1 C deep meter underscored RA, where F is the gravitational force, G is the gravitational constant, M underscore 1 and M underscore 2 are the masses of the two objects, R is the distance between the centers of the two objects. 2. Electromagnetic force. This force arises between electric charges and magnetic fields. It includes both electric forces and magnetic forces. Electromagnetic interactions are the basis for many natural phenomena such as light and electricity. 3. Nuclear force. There are 2 types of nuclear forces. Strong nuclear force. It holds the atomic nucleus together by binding protons and neutrons. Weak nuclear force. It is responsible for the decay of certain subatomic particles. 4. Frictional force. This force occurs when two surfaces come into contact and resists the motion of one surface relative to the other. The frictional force depends on the nature of the surfaces in contact and the force pressing them together.